No time like the present. Turn one more light on here. So these are going to be the sides of the diorama. And I've got to give them the same sort of cloudy paint job that I did the rest of the whole thing. So I'm going to do that kind of quick. Smush this nurgly color together. Add a little water to it. There we go. Then what I'll do is I'll attach the sides. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but I might tack it together with toothpicks, because I can't really think of anything better than that at the moment. So basically I'm just going to put some more wispy clouds in, foggy stuff. And I may decide to like embellish these sides a little better after this guy's done. But for now, this is kind of the scheme we're going with. That's what's on the back, if you remember. Let's see if I can find the back of this thing. Yoink. Just real quick. There's that, with our moon sticking out. I actually varnished this a little bit because this primer is pretty dusty. And wanted to make sure that everything stuck nicely. So yeah. So we're gonna get a box out of this thing. Just sort of use the dryishness of the brush to sort of mix this up a little bit. I do feel like I am going to want to sponge this a little after the fact, but I'm not going to do it just yet. Because I want to get this thing together. Because it's going to be kind of a pain, I imagine, to attach all three sides to this and have them stick and have them glued right. But once I do that, it'll be hopefully somewhat sturdy. Hopefully I won't have to put a box around the box. I haven't seen him yet. I think it is going to be tomorrow. But then I will have all of my other chores out of the way when he arrives. Or most of them. I am going to crack him open the night he arrives. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to work with him that first night. I might be in the middle of something. But we'll see. We'll see. Little spots there, little there. Just getting some stuff filled in. All right, so now I'm going to set this aside and do the worst job ever, which is, and all the parts don't have to match up perfectly just yet. Essentially what I need to do is have this this whoop, attached onto here, and then attach the backs on. So this is going to be a big slather of glue on the side of this, and then I've never done this before, like so many things. What I've decided I want to do is just take some toothpicks. I'm going to cut them in half. Let's see if I've got those pliers anywhere. Yeah. And I'm going to tack them in so that while the glue is setting, it's, there we go. It's all sort of staked together. And then I will set this thing aside, off to the side, and let it dry and see how well it holds up. I can stash these guys over there. So what I need to do is get a hobby glue brush together. Get some glue splotched up. And then lay a bunch of this on. Hopefully not glue it down to my workspace, because that would be hilarious and sad. at the same time. All right, so one of these goes first. That one's going to be like that on that side. I'll set this aside. Basically just going to glue this guy onto the side of that and cross my fingers tacking the thing in. Oh, here goes. Here goes. Bunch of glue on the side of this. 2 tacks to hold it on. I'm not too worried if I get a little bit up on the edge. It's probably for the best that I do. This stuff does dry clear. It needs enough to make a seal. I don't need this thing to be super durable, but I need it to hold together enough. I can sort of pick it up and place it every once in a while. All right, so here comes the crazy part. And I am going to click over here real quick. Thanks, Dane. Oh, good stuff. I am probably going to pick up one of those weird AdMech stilty guys. They just look so dumb. I don't think I'll be able to help myself. All right. Let's see if I can push this through safely. Good Lord, I think it worked. I think it worked. This might actually be the way to go. And then I can snip the extra ends off later. All right, let's just push. Oh, don't spill your glue all over the place, buddy. Yeah, toothpicks going straight through. Now I need, not exactly holding all that well up against it. That part's a little bit of a problem. Not insurmountable, but not great. There's a little bit of a gap in there, which means I may be funneling in some glue along the edge, which will look a little squirrely, but that's life. Now, in theory, this guy should just fit in over this. See down past the moon. Should fit in the same way. I'll do him next. Just hope and pray this stuff all stays stuck. I do think I'm going to be piping a little bit of glue into that edge to get an actual seal. But here we go. Crazy town. And this stuff does not dry fast. That I've definitely found. It'll dry faster in front of a fan, for sure. But it does not dry fast. And I am starting to spill a little bit, so... You knucklehead. Thanks, man. Yoink! Thanks a bunch. I appreciate it. Totally unnecessary, but thoroughly appreciated. All right, and on this edge, because this is raised a bit, we got a little bit more space to play and glue. Potentially stake this thing in. There we go. Glop that on there. And this may be somewhat anticlimactic in that, like, I'll put this together and it'll be stuck. And if I get to that point, then I will spend some time, well, I'm almost certainly going to get to that point, putting together one of the little flying dudes, whatever the heck they're called. Bloat drone? Bloat drone. Because I have one. All right. Now things get finicky. I wish I actually knew what I was doing sometimes. This is not one of them. All right. It's staked in. Here we go. Man, that you are a mean machine. And then I think I got to stake this up here and glue it. Is it going to stay that way? Is it? Oh, there's a massive gap there. Massive. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to find out as I glop a bunch on the actual outside of it. That's right. Just like a 12-year-old would do. Just hold it together so it pins in, which is very little room to do. Oh yeah, that's not going to hold straight. I might have to vise this thing at some point. There's a massive gap over there. But whatever. I'll figure it out. All right, if you're still paying attention, we've got one more wall to go. I do think that my gluing solution is not going to be permanent by any stretch of the wildest imagination. It's a bit squirrely. Everything is not quite cut perfectly, but it'll all be in a box. And in the end, that's really the main thing that matters. All right, set this guy aside. How many toothpicks do I have left? Not much. All right. One, clip another couple of these boys. Getting spicy. Yeah, it's funny because I put the right time in the browser at the time, and then it eradicated once it did a clock update. I think it's because I had the window open for a while. I can send that in as a bug. All right. So this one I'm actually going to do the straight side in here. That's pinned in. You can hear it horrifyingly. Yep, there are definitely gaps in here. Oof. It's coming apart. Just hang in there, buddy. Good call. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to like wrap something around this to keep it tight while it dries. What I'm gonna do, I don't know. Turn this thing. This thing is the opposite of secure right now. I got a little glue on myself. Because I did it the whole way. All right. Bumped it. There we go. Straight in there. All right. This does not want to hold square, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do about it. This piece is just coming out. But I'm going to get a paper towel. I'll actually wipe this edge off because I keep running my hand across it. But it is boxed in, albeit precariously. It's like I did intend on having to cut the edges after this to sort of square it up, but it's it's a total kids project. No insulting any kids. It's boxed in. Looks creepy. There's absolutely more I'm going to have to do with this. I think I'm going to be piping glue in to get this thing to sit proper. Indeed. Indeed. Alrighty. Mr. Bughead in the system. All right, I am going to set this aside so what little precarious glue is actually matched up and try to settle in the breeze. Oh boy, this is quite the operation. Quite. That was exciting. Well, with that in mind, I'm just going to leave that glue in the water. I think what I'll do is I'll boink, change my camera a bit, zoink, get that glue off of there, and pop this thing up a level. Is that not what I meant? Yep, doing camera work. There we go. And let's see if this gets better. There we go. What a completely unprofessional operation this is. All right, so that is going to set for a little while, that diorama, off in the breeze, precariously. In the meantime, for your viewing enjoyment, maybe I'll come back a little bit. There we go. I have some building to do. In theory, if I rush, I don't want to rush too much. In theory, if I rush, I think he will look good in that diorama. I think he's perfect for it. It's certainly creepy enough. I got one of these guys. And if I'm savvy about this, I can either prime this tonight or later today and have some hope of eventually working on it. I picked this up at my local store as sort of a thank you for them teaching me my first game. And I think this guy looked neat in the army, so let's see what he's all about. Oh man, I've got so many boxes. Yeah, I apologize for that. Every time I move stuff around, clumsiness takes over and things start getting bumped. I do desperately need a better way, a better layout of all my stuff. This has a crap ton of pieces. I think it's because of the different weapons it gets. Yeah, it's got a lawnmower, or a spewer, or a thumper. That's pretty cool. Weird. Which means I probably need to think about, magnets. Wow, it has a bunch of variants on it. I mean, there's the 3 weapon variants, which look easy enough with magnets, no biggie. And then there's the front face of it. This model's pretty wild. Weird. Well, I need to use some foresight. Oh, it's got 3 different faces. Did they make this thing so difficult that you can't swap in the weapons? Nope. Weapons are all swappable. So I can just, what I should do is build this up until the weapon stage, leave them unattached, and then I can attach them later. Wow, this is a wild model. This is crazy. All right, model. Yeah. I don't know if you missed it, Maury, but the walls on the side of the diorama were a little precarious at best. Yeah, I think this guy's getting magnetized because all the weapons on it are pretty rad. I mean, having a spewer on this thing to be able to just fly in and blow up over everybody, pretty awesome. And then whatever the ka-chunker is, like a blight grenade launcher, that's really cool. So the reason this thing is so full of stuff is because there's a lot of variants on it. Sweet. All right. Let's start snipping. Do I have my snips? I do have my snips. Maybe, just maybe, a little bit more room to breathe because we're building. There we go. Pieces 1 and 2. My vacation is on the cusp of being over. I am physically, mentally, and spiritually not all that ready to go back to work. But it is what it is. It went by in a bit of a blur. I did get to spend a lot of time with my kids, which was awesome. I did not get to spend all that much time outside of the middle of the night to do other stuff, but it's all good in the hood. It should be 1. Is it not? It's what is it actually called? It has a legit name because everything does. Fetid bloat drone. It is called a flesh mower. A flesh mower. Because that's cool. Right. Yep, that's 1. You can either fly in, chop guys up with that, or you can spew all over the place. Or you can ka-thud, ka-thud, ka-thud. These things are on there good. Hear that snip sound. Doink. Alright. 2 halves of the whole. And yeah, these things are going to need mad cleanup. Yeah, Monday I'm back, man. It's been a while. I mean, I started the Thursday of last week, so it was a long vacation, but I had to do a lot of fill-in work, a lot of family stuff. I mean, it's absolutely a man mower, marine mower. But I just always like, especially with Death Guard stuff, to look up the legit canonical name because they're all silly, and in the good way. I'm not disparaging it at all. Get a little filing action here, and then we'll glue this guy together. This model is wild. Got all kinds of creepy bits. And these things in the books are just like pretty creepy. Just like fly around in little squadrons, just blah all over the place, coming out of the smoke. I like him very much. Yeah, I think this one, I'm not sure. Does this one actually stand up on a post? Oh no, you just no, it's just simply it stands up completely just dragging on a few tentacles. Yeah, no feet. Everything Death Guard that flies is just kind of bloaty floaty. Not so much race fly-y, shooty. But yeah, a piece of me is kind of ready to go back to work. I do miss it. I miss my peeps. But yeah. Stability is your thing. In so many ways, my friend. In so many ways. That I got. Any other burrs on here? There's a big one. May actually need the industrial twig. Get this guy shaved down a bit. Oh yeah, it's gritty. There we go. And once again, things covered in spikes, so the likelihood of me drawing blood pretty high on this guy. Alright, that's pretty good. And it says we slap them together. They should fit nicely, and they do. They are behaving. That's good. Let's see if the glue behaves. Ain't got no feet. Just a menacing, floaty pile of plague. Let me try over here first. You gonna make me light a fire again, buddy? Man, this glue does get stuck in here like wild. All right, time to do some operation. Watch me spill this glue all over the place. Oh, that doesn't want to come out at all. Oop. I'll be right back. I need a source of fire. One of the builds of it, it's got a little buddy. If I'm reading this thing correctly, it has different faces, and it has different things that can. Let's take a look at it. So it's either got spikes with little fly buddies, or Death Guard toot toot things with warp coming out of them, or spikes on it, based on which one of the face plates you put on it. Pretty cool, right? I think so. Pliers this guy out of here again. I wish there was a better way to do this. I truly do. But I've yet to find one. So we just cleanse things with fire. All right, hopefully that works. Turn the tube around, it works for me. I think you're probably right. I think I do this excessively because I'm kind of a knucklehead. Turn the tube around, he says. That sounds far too simple and professional for realsies. That sounds like hard-won experience. Experience and know-how. Rod of fire. Come on out. Come on out. At least it slides through here now. That's good. It was jammed up for a bit. That's true. Very much not OSHA. All right, well, this metal thing's coming out for a second. Accidentally glue it. Surface there. Just got to tap, little taps and spots. Yep. And this guy definitely, it's a big piece. Anytime you have a big piece, you just got to hold that thing for a bit. Get it to seal. I made that mistake with my plate burst crawler. Ended up with a pretty sizable gap. There we go. All right, well, pieces 1 and 2 are attached. Fine start. Almost wondering if that diorama does need a glue that's actually going to melt things together. What I think I'm going to end up doing is taking this glue here and just with the nozzle just like almost caulking the thing together. It's probably going to be an obscene amount of glue. May end up having to reinforce it with little wooden sticks. Glue, why you no come out like that? Torch. If I gotta torch you again, I'll do it. Glue is not coming out. All right, that might get exciting, but we will press on. All right. So the next step is I gotta figure out this little hose hanky thing. Or this yellow. I've never seen things go into the yellow zone. Or this. I think I'm going to go with this second one. It's pretty gross. Let's try the second one. And I'm going to have so many extra parts from this. It's going to be sweet. Extra bits. Alright, so 5 and 6. Scooch you back there. I know at some point I'm going to accidentally glue pieces onto this craft board thing. Always scares me. Alright, there's 5. Where's 6? 6 is over here. Oh, this is delicate. Maybe this wasn't the best call, but we're in it to win it. Snip, snip, snip. Oh yeah, these are delicate parts. It's like Mortarion floats around on his cloak. This guy just... I mean, legit, I think... These little spindly bits, yeah, you can see they're like flat right here. That's what he stands on. That is, ugh, living dangerously. Little extra snippy snip here and there, just to clean this up. Flat part is fine. That's going to need a file. Proper filing. Yep, this is probably going to get away with just some sanding. And that's actually the flat part that sits on the bottom, so I'm not going to stress out over that too much. How's your guys' weekend been? Sense the flimsiness. Yeah, you can see it and hear it. Guy goes into battle floating on noodles. I mean, legit, it is flimsy. That is the right word for it. All right, so 5 and 6 go together somehow, some way. Oh, just like that, huh? Oh my God, this is the flimsiest thing ever. I hate it already. I love it. It is mad precarious. All right. Blue, you want to come out? I'll play nice. I'm shaking you all over the place. Nothing, huh? Oh, wow, it's stuck in there. All right, out comes the stick. Can you break that glue up with anything else other than this glue? Wink. I feel like I might need to, like, put it in thinner or something like that. Oh my God, you are that flimsy. Flimsy McGee. It does look awesome. It does look awesome. I'm psyched about him. Like, he's cool. But once again, it's not like a rhino tank that you feel like can sort of take a beating. Like, this thing is just tiny. And there is a little space for me to put some glue in there, so I am going to do it. I really want the actual... I'm going to torch this thing again. I need this thing to actually have glue get through it. I hide that lighter. Need you to burn, son. I actually need the fumes to spark my creativity. There we go. Now it's flowing. They say you're not supposed to do that, but I gotta tell you, it works. It does work. All right, so look at my instructions. This whole face thing sit in that little nugget there. Is that how you want to work? Is that how you want to do this? That little notch goes in there, and those two holes stay unexposed because I think little claws come out of them. All right, so that makes sense. That does. Now, if the glue's going to play nice, at the bridge of this guy's nose, little dab there, little dab there. Bam, that thing slams right on there. A little pointy nose. I think this stabby thing is actually a weapon. If you don't take the flesh mower, yeah, that's a plague probe. He'll actually just run up and give you a little kiss with that. Because he's so nice. That's how nice he is. Run up and give you a kiss. All right, I can let this sit gently right here. And now we got a couple claws to find. 42 and 43. With mower bits, it's 43. This guy's neat. And he's definitely going to get a paint job that matches that guy. And my little buddies. This guy's very much anti-personnel. That guy's very much anti-tank. And they have a move of greater than 4 inches, so that's pretty awesome. The rest of my army is slow as molasses. Save. All right, those pieces are out. It's gonna melt the tube at this rate. You know what? I might. It's possible. It's possible. I don't want to file this too much because that goes straight into the model. But this part, yeah, this part needs a little cleanup. Leave it on its side. Boink. Evil Roomba. Which evil Roomba do you speak of? Do you mean that guy over there? The blight hauler? Because he's pretty evil. He's somewhat Roomba-like. It's a cool model. Alright. So these guys, in theory, just nicely stick into these little holes. I don't know which one's which anymore. Although I suppose I could look at the picture and it'll tell me. Alright. So it gives you the freedom to sort of pivot these around wherever you want, I guess. Call that freedom. Just glop in that hole. And boop. Oh, the Plague Burst? Yeah, that thing is one of my favorite models. Alright, we're just going to hold this here until it starts to shtick. Got little claws. Stuck enough. Good enough for rock and roll. Just get around this edge as well. Little dab on the end. I have a feeling I did this backwards, but it's both supposed to be down like that. All right, zoink. There we go. That feels better. It's soft enough to be able to go back and change them. A little bit of flexibility in there, which is nice. There we go. How neat is that guy? He's just gonna give you a nice big hug, hit you with that crazy syringe. Turn the page. Yeah, it's grabby pincers. All right, so the next decision, basically his faceplate, which determines if he's spiky, if he's gassy, or if he's buggy. I'll let you folks decide. Can I do a poll? Let's see what all these features do. Boink. Stream marker now. Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Add option. Watch this. Make this interactive. Smoky. Buggy. What was the third option? Spiky. Watch this. Look at this. I'm engaging. There's your choices, folks. Buggy, smoky, spiky. The poll is live. Choose the fate. The buggy one, yeah. Buggy one's got the fly on it. Interactive media at its finest. Well, I'm going to give it just a couple more seconds, but I think we're pretty close. Scared somebody off with the poll. That's pretty funny. All right. Buggy it is. Tribe has spoken. In which case that's blue on the instructions, so I'm following the whole blue path here. So I need 17 and 18. So now I definitely know why so many of these parts get used in other models as like kit bashes, is because you get a bunch of variants. You get a whole bunch. 17 and 18. So that's 13. Is it split? It is split. Yep, and it's got a fly on it. That must be it. Like when I get another knight, which I'm absolutely going to get another knight at some point, I can use like whole chunks of this as like shoulder plate stuff. Ooh, set that flying. 14, 17, 18. Yeah, it's buggy. Buggy. It's also neat because the bugs are on sort of the like horn growths, which are always kind of cool to paint. I like those a lot too. All right, so those two go together. My fly was down. Just found it. Anyway, TMI. The things you find while you're looking down in your lap for pieces that went flying across the room. Oh yeah, it's a big hunking piece of plastic. But yeah, there's an awesome bug and Other side's got another buddy. Dan, you'll be happy to know that I'm making American feijoada as we speak. And I use that term pretty liberally, but it is basically a black bean stew with a lot of meat in it. It's got some sausages in it. It's got huge ham bone in it. It's got, I think it's chorizo. It's got the remains of a ham with a bunch of meat still on the bone. It's got some amount of steak in it. It's got some amount of beef in there. Lots of black beans, onions. I throw mirepoix in it just because it's like habit. So mostly onions, but also carrots and celery broken down pretty far. A bunch of other crap in it. A bunch of seasonings and stuff. I still don't have the magic dust that goes in it. I should just look that up and figure out how to make it. But it's definitely like dark black, almost a little bit of purple to it. I got it started yesterday. Dried beans. Every once in a while I go cheap and just use canned beans, but it doesn't look the same. It's not as dark. If you use canned beans, it doesn't have that like somewhat bluish, navy bluish tint, midnight tint from the black beans when you use them from dry. But yeah, a lot of meat, a lot of beans, a little bit of veg, and it's just been slow cooking and slow cooking and slow cooking. I'll make a little bit of rice later. And it's interesting to me because like black bean soup as a thing is like very summer like. It's got black beans in it, but it's also like because it's a stew, it's very much a nice fall thing. Yeah, I mean technically it's been on the heat since yesterday. It needs to ruminate. All right, so these guys get slapped together. Spike in the middle. Oh, so it's just this plate like this. Oh, and these little nubs fit into those little holes you say, which means this face needs to be sanded down. As much as it's going to be invisible, I need these guys to come together. I'm going to have to hold on to this for a little bit. Make sure that it fits nicely. There we go. There we go. And that feijoada will be food for days. Come on, glue. Don't make me light you on fire again. Make me do it. There we go. This goes. Another common Death Guard model thing is that you put two pieces together with a spike in the middle. Actually, I should edge that a little bit. Yep, there we go. All right, yep, and it definitely has a right way of sitting. Yeah, you can't rush feijoada. You can rush eating it, so that you eat as much as you can. But it's gonna be good. Just gonna pinch this like that. A couple seconds longer, then I'll set it aside because it should stay together. Piece 16, which is like a little snout for the guy. I got a 3 doohickey snout. Yeah, tons of variation on this. And it's not just the weapons. What did I say it was? 16. Nope, nope. I bet you it's that. Yeah, it's like a 2 ocular doohickey. Snip there. Snip there. This one I got to be really careful of because it's precarious. And if I miss it the first time and leave a little on there, that's fine. I'll clean it up in a second. I do like very slow cooked things a lot. Barbecue, stews, pot roasts, all those guys. That whole family of things. Very big fan. I don't mind leaving barbecue on for 12, 14, 18 hours. Get that meat all to that like fall apart, but not quite falling apart, like holds together, but super tender. All right, so I think this thing goes on the inside of that mod face. Yeah, it does. It's got to fit in. Should have notches in here. It does. You can see them inside there. They match those three. So in theory, this guy goes, yep, whoop, he pops right in. And it's actually good that this is still a little tiny bit soft. So if he's got to push a little bit, he can do that. There we go. It's taking an awful lot of pressure to get this glue out. Just get a little bit behind the teeth. Oh, this is going to look awesome. It's going to look awesome. There it goes. It clunked right in. Snapped right in. So yeah, his little eyes and stuff are behind some little like tonguey business. That's cool. You're a cool model. It even shows you a picture of it looking right. It does. It's genius. All right, so I could skip all the yellow stuff. Can I skip the yellow stuff? No. Now this is blue. It's got all those things on. All right, so yeah. All right, it's just telling me I got to put the faceplate on him. But it's also showing it was like, yeah, I skipped a step. That's why. Whew. I did skip some stuff. His little jets. That's what they are. Turbines. 7 and 8 and 9. Didn't put his turbines on yet. That's why I feel out of place. My copy digitally of The End and the Death is volume 2 out of 3 of the final books of The Siege of Terra. I just started reading it. I'm only a couple hundred pages in. It's a doozy. But I am very, very excited. Once again, Garfield Loken appears prominently in the story. This piece does not want to come out. Am I missing one of these? Nooge. It is Dan Abnett's work, and it is at times true to form. Pretty tough reading. My vocabulary is getting better with every book, but he has some very, very interesting word choices that are pretty old school, which I like a lot about it. It sort of cements some of the ideas home, but it does meander almost as much as Volume 1 did. And I know why. Meander's probably overly critical term. It's trying to show you all these different things that are happening on Terra at the same time. Trying to explain how like the warp is taking over. And that's messy writing. I mean he's not doing it messy. I just mean like that's messy business, trying to explain the unexplainable all the time. And he goes through a lot of pages of just different scenes explaining that like time isn't working anymore on Terra. Like it doesn't. Everyone's clocks have stopped. No one can really perceive time all that well. Guy who's in charge of the Custodes, like he's still got his mental clock ticking, but it doesn't make any sense. So he keeps saying like, "Oh, it's been like this battle's been going on for 40 seconds," but like it feels like it's been going on for hours. Little skirmish that he's in, and the book jumps around a lot. There's a ton of different things going on, and what's cool about it is that they finally decide to take Horace's bait at the end of the first book in the trilogy, and like we are going to teleport up to his ship and just take the fight to him. And it's all these dudes. It's the Emperor himself. It is Sanguinius. It is Dorn. And it is whatever, Constantine. Guys in charge of the Custodes. And they've each got like a battle group with them. They do their whole teleport thing. They don't show up in the same place on the ship at all. Immediately the party gets totally separated. All right, so it's showing me these guys go upward like this and don't glue them. It says don't glue. Maybe it's like don't glue then glue? Making sure you get the right ones or something like that. Why would it tell me not to glue it? Why would you tease me so? Oh, and it definitely isn't those ones down there. It goes up here. All right. Well, I mean, these definitely seem to fit a certain way. This one is wrong. And I'll tell you why it's wrong. The little nub right there, this one's a diamond-shaped one. The other two are like elliptical. So this one here is elliptical. Thanks, model. Good job. Good job, model. Well designed to protect me from being me. I am going to bring back the horrifying thing that is my diorama in a minute. It's been sitting over there drying. I don't think it is remotely glued together. I think it is only the toothpicks that are holding it together. Which means, much to my chagrin, it's probably going to need a solution other than the one that I tried to do. But I will bring it back. All right. Boom. That's out. But it is sitting in front of my fan, nobly drying. But there are just yawning gaps in the kindergarten level engineering that I did to put the walls up. Yawning gaps. Oh man, the sprue lines on this, not even the lines, the sprue connections are just devastating on these pieces. It's because they're big and chunky, I guess. All right. Now, you're good enough. Good enough for rock and roll. All right, so this one, yeah, this one's semicircular. All right, so he stands up like this. We go on his base like that. Pieces go like this. I think what it was telling me to do is just check them first. Check myself before I wreck myself, proverbially speaking. All right, yep. All right, now I can wreck myself. Hope it's not seriously telling me that I shouldn't glue these. 7, 8. Just going to flash forward a little bit. No, they're getting glued. That is life. It's a weird instruction, buddy. All right, but it's happening. They are pretty intent on there being this piece. All right, getting them correct is a little bit of a challenge. I'm looking at this picture and he's standing here like this, like this. That's why. Both this guy and the blight hole are very strange in spots. Very strange. All right, now it makes sense. Both models very easy to flip over, and like until you're done with them, either side could be right side up. All right, but I know that the pointy parts of the turbine stick out. So that's good. You're gonna sit in there the right way? Yeah, there you go, buddy. The other one goes right on top. That should be pointy side out too, so I will do it that way. This guy's gonna get primed in green soon. There we go. I should hold this in my hand for just a few brief moments. But it is starting to look like a thing that flies around. You know, there's a little faceplate will go on there. And they have already decided to glue him to the base, but they always decide that a little too early, in my humble opinion. Oh, that spaghetti. He's like a jellyfish. We probably have him sitting on his base so that you can lay him down while he's drying in this one step. I'm guessing, yeah, he'll sit like that. There we go. Now he's levitating. A little bit of pressure from the paper goes a long way. But like without the eyeball sticking out of that would be an amazing shoulder plate for Knight or Armiger, War Dog, whatever they're called. I dig it. I dig it. All right, let's attach this guy's face. Hold him right side up. I guarantee you this little pipe on the back is so that you can hold this guy while you're painting him. Guarantee it. Too many eyes. They're always watching. All right, so that does nestle itself in pretty nicely right there. Instructions seem pretty clear, which is good. We got cleared for takeoff. All over this seam. Just a tiny thin amount of glue. Tiny-ish, thin-ish. Snap this guy in. There you go. And it even has a little pop when it does it. That's good. That's resounding. He's neat looking. He's a cute little guy. What I do like about him is with this face, just a couple little eyes, he'll match nicely. I should be able to pretty much mimic this paint scheme on both. He'll be this lighter color down the middle, and his weapons and fans will all be that green, and they'll be little buddies. They'll be my little buddies in the field. Now, if I can find a place to set this guy down not too precariously, I can just lay him down on my paints or whatever. I say not too precariously, I mean horribly precariously. Yeah, he sits there just fine. What I'm going to do now is put the guns together but not attach them, in the hopes that they all come together in such a way that I can magnetize them. And I'm pretty sure, just pick them back up for a second here, that all the weapons just mount on these two little holes, which are conveniently the size of some of my magnets. So it should work. It should, in theory, work. Let's see if it works in practice. 33, 34, 35. So a bunch of barrels where stuff, special stuff is kept. The schlop is stored. keg of goop. I'm actually pretty psyched. Like, I've got a lot of one-off models. Like, I'm not going to be tripling up on anything anytime soon. At some point, I may get another Plague Burst Crawler just because I absolutely adore the model. But, you know, pretty soon, I'll have a decent number of mechanized options to go with. Got the Blight Hauler, got this, whatever this thing is called, and a Plague Burst Crawler, and a Hellbrute coming soon. Very psyched for, super psyched for. So I can sort of mix it up a little bit. I want to go a little bit more anti-infantry, especially with the weapons being swappable. Like the Blight Hauler just has one weapon layout, which is I actually kind of liked also. Keeps my life simple. And this guy here is always going to be anti-infantry. He doesn't get meltas or any crud like that. But you can have him just run up and drive over guys, which is sweet. Or you can have him do it from a distance. Or you can have him do it from even more distance. I could use him to bait charges, which would be nice, because my guys don't charge so well. Snip that off of there. I have started investigating airbrushes. I think it'll be a while before I pull the trigger on it. But I think I want one. This appears to fit in here like this. Does it? Those three little kachunky things the same size? They're probably not. They're probably exactly right size to fit it so that it's right side up. And I just have to find that way. Old man eyes don't fail me now. I thought I fit it on here perfectly before. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Let's try it on this side. That can't be the way. This thing absolutely fits like this perfectly. All right. Well, we'll sand this guy down first. Get him on there because he's behaving. Zoop. Perfect. Perfect. Good job, piece. And this one we'll just keep spinning around till it magically fits. Is that what we're going to do? Is that how you're going to handle it? Is that what our life is now? Oh, I did spin it around till it magically fit. All right. So there is a magic fit to it. That's good. Starting to think I might have to file it. Don't want to do. All right, tank together. Now gun part. Weird gun part. 28 and 29. All right, after I snip this guy out, I'm going to grab that diorama and see just how precarious it is. I think it's basically unattached. That's my guess. Like, as precarious gets. Yep. I'm either going to have to shim the daylights out of this. I don't have a lot of room to play. I'm either going to have to shim the daylights out of this thing or apply an inordinate amount of glue. But the moon looks good. That is my diorama. But there are just, you can just see the light pouring through it. Even. Looks all right. But I'm guessing the very bottom of the back of it's going to get like some of these guys. Hot glue won't hold. I'm worried that hot glue will melt it, but that's not the worst idea I've ever heard of. Hot glue might do it. It might melt the stuff. I might have to just get in there and shim it a little bit, or just get like a long piece of string to tie it a little bit tight. You're shots. I'm sorry. It's this stream is not conducive to any sort of motion sickness whatsoever. I've gotten more cavalier with that camera up there. What I need is like an 8-camera setup, and then I can just push a button and do like a proper camera change. And there'll be no craziness. Oof. That's a little charm that I almost knocked off. All right. Dane, are you watching this in VR mode? That would be awesome. You should get VR cameras. That's why I'm not trying to make your life difficult. But cramped in this corner, if I've got to show something off, I got to work with what I got. I just need to hit the lottery and build like a $2 million studio for my silly little hobby. Good production crew. Like 8 people standing around with cameras while I meander about trying to build a model. It's funny, the complex models that Games Workshop has are listed at 15 and up for an age. I love it. I love it. Let me see if I got this box down here. Urgh. Is there an age rating on this thing? One miniature. Maybe on the back. Made in the UK. There's no age rating. They're more complex ones. Say like 15 and up. Oh yeah. Yeah, 12 and up. Watch old man struggle with toy made for 12-year-old. That is very generous on their part. Though I know plenty of people that started this hobby pretty early, and you can do it. I'm just pretty inept. That's what it comes down to. How exactly does this go together? Looks like it's right. That's on the outside, that's on the inside. Doop, you get a little dot. All right, buddy. Together you go. Yep, and just give that a little bit of hold. It's got 3 little nozzles. I should get a little drill and drill those things out. I think some of my models just naturally have them. Like this triple thing is the same as what's on my Plague Burst crawler, but they're already hollowed out. It's part of the model. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. Oh, I might not have to. They have a thing that caps them. That's cool. All right, let's find it. Is that 30? That is 30. Not have to drill them out. But yeah, hot glue might be the solution. Just fill that whole thing in. How's this look? It looks pretty good. So these guys just fit on here like this. Where's the drip go? Oh, that's because the gun goes like that. Okay, now you make sense. This goes like, yeah, I don't have to hollow it out. Sweet. All right, on you go, buddy. Quest continues. Cool stuff. Oh, that's a cool looking gun. It's got a little drip. Everything's sloppy. 31 and 32. Probably on here. There's 32. Magic hose. And the other piece is a weird little tiny spiky bit. 11. There's 31. All right. But I literally put down the buried dagger, the origin story of the Death Guard, to read part 2 of The End and the Death. That's how obsessed I've become with the Emperor. And there's an amazing point in it where this guy Kyril Cinderman, who was like a remembrancer, and then I guess in the 40k era, he's like a inquisitor or something like that. But he eventually pieces it together. He's like, well, he's sitting in one of the Emperor's libraries, and it's all it is just like a library full of depictions of hell. So the Emperor's always known was there as the war. And Cinderman's like, I guess the Emperor failed us because like he didn't inform us of any of this, and he could have, and at least mentally we could have been prepared for this craziness. And you know, he's right. He did fail everyone. All right, this little diamond is supposed to fit into that little diamond, and I don't get the sense that it's gonna. Make me push you too hard. Make me very sad. There's no way that fits. There's no way that fits. You must be out your mind. I'm gonna have to get snipped. Does it stand up? They are full of crap. There's no way that fits in there. I'm gonna snap this model, trying to get that in there like that. All right, out comes Superfile. Before you do too much. Oh, I'm accidentally taking my nail down with it. That's not a great idea. Yeah, so this sort of orangey brownish file is just a wholesale removal of stuff. If this thing doesn't play nice and get in there, I'll find another way. This is the first step of aggressive sanding. Aggression knows no bounds. All right. We'll try this with you one more time, my friend. One more time. All right, now it barely fits. Oh, okay, it does fit. It did take all that sanding, though. I was like struggling with it before, and it would not go. And then finally, it took enough edge of it off where it would pop into place. All right. And now it sits actually pretty nicely. Good job, me. Good job. All right, so with that thing up on top, this thing attaches to that hose, allegedly, pretty smoothly. Nope. Doesn't feel smooth yet. It must go this way. Nope. It's supposed to have a notch in it, right? Nope, it's flat. It is flat. I see it now. It attaches right there. Okay, that makes sense. That does fit nicely. Yep, There's a tiny little groove there. It's a little hard to see, but it is there. Just a little bit across that. You will fit. You will reach compliance. There we go. All right. So that is on there good. And then allegedly, this tube goes all the way to this guy. Here. Here. Like that. And then with magnets, these two things should fit right onto the bottom of the vehicle. Oof. Give this a couple more seconds to get sturdy. Cool model. I'm glad that it magnetizes. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I want to make sure that that really dries, and I'll be back. Alrighty. See if this guy's on here good. Is. So put him together like that. Let him sit. Meditate on what he has done. What I think I'm going to do for this guy is his base. I'm going to do up nice right out the gate. I'm not going to base him ahead of time. Put together some super nice stuff. Some, like concrete building things going on. Do him proper, because I learned a lot from doing diorama stuff. I learned a lot, which is the point of the whole dealie. Alright, I'm just out of interest going to do the lawnmower next because it looks dope and it has a ton of parts, I think none of which are actually on this sprue. But it looks good and complicated. 21 and 22. And then I think when I finish this lawnmower, I'm going to, my diorama has settled a little bit, set it up and take a few photos with it and call that project a wrap. Much as I will fix and do other things to it, there's no reason to make people suffer on camera as I do them, unless I decide to do something really squirrely with it. You're looking pretty good. This guy gets a little sanding as well. I'm looking forward to painting this thing. It is pretty rad. It's one of those things about a lot of Death Guard models is they just are very unique. They don't look like anything else. Like you see them and you're like, yep, that's Death Guard. That is my gross boys. All right, so, oh, these aren't the right two pieces. One of them is correct. One of them is not. 21 and 22, so I need 21 over here, and I'll figure out which one of those guys is 22. Should be fine because they're mirrored. That was a very violent snap because I went through the sick part. There we go. Snip you up. Get you nice and cleaned up there, buddy. Actually, that's a really good job. Good job, me. I swear, if I could invest in these twigs as a company, I would. They're awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right, so the glass is back on straight. That thing goes out like this. This thing goes out like this, and they fit together magically like what? Like not really? Nope, has to be this one. Has to be. Oh, they do snap together nicely. Okay. Glue. I gotta figure out a way for my glasses to stay on better. These things slide down my head constantly, and I'm always looking down at this stuff. It is genuinely not awesome. Just keep jiggling this thing until it, yep, comes together. That can sit. guy a little snipping. Just clean a little bit more of that stuff off. I mean, what army is cool enough to have lawnmowers in it? Very, very cool of you guys. Very good use of the plant metaphor. See, because there's Nurgle's garden. Someone's got to mow the lawn. All right, 19 and 20 also go on here. Stretch out a little bit. These are going to need a ton of cleanup. Those sprues are in weird spots. Yeah, that is no good. It is fine, I think. Yeah, let's sand this guy. Yeah, I do think that diorama is probably dry enough now to work with. Hmm. Maybe you go here? Yep, you do. All right, sweet. That made it easy. Just 9 times out of 10, you just got to follow what the model's trying to tell you. Every once in a while, you get a janky piece, and it is not your fault. It is actually the model's fault. But more often than not, I find that I'm just not attaching things in the place that they go. And that's on me. Did I do this right? All right. Yep, that does snap right in. Okay. Okay. That's a good fit. It's got a couple little nubs in there to make sure you get it right. This one goes similarly on the other side. Now, hopefully, my other piece is done enough where I can see how it actually fits on there and I can start thinking about, though not necessarily doing, the think about magnets, how they work. Yep, there you go. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. All right, buddy. There's your boy. If he stands like this, then these guys just come in underneath. And in theory, a couple of magnets are all it takes. Please don't tell me you got to snap in. Oh, yeah, it's not bad. It can almost swivel. In fact, when it's magnetized, it will just swivel. But yeah, you can see that gun goes right on like that. All of them should basically fit on like that. So those are going to get tiny magnets. Those holes will get tiny magnets, and this guy can be modified, modulated, redone, however necessary, however I want to configure him in the army, which is cool. All right, so let's set up properly put this thing, the remains of this in its box. Man, I have crushed a ton of models recently, ever since I started streaming. Just absolutely been crushing models. Gotta clean up in here. It's just empty boxes. Payload of combat patrol, miasmic malignifier, mephitic blight hauler, mortarian, all the M's. All right. So, wow, it feels like it's even pulling itself further apart as I speak. This assembly is an absolute failure. I think I need to vise it, which is going to be precarious because it's all made out of foam. But I can do this now. I can put my guys in. Do you fit? Nah, you'll fit there. Put my guys in. See how many will fit in here. Oof. Good if I wasn't quite as clumsy as I am. It'd be a nice step forward. Fit right next to you. There. Maybe another one here. See if one guy fits up top. And I'll set these things up. Add a little more light. I should add spooky light. I will when I take like legit pictures of this. But these are illegitimate pictures of this. But yeah, I mean, you can see on camera the walls of this really rough shape. Oh, I might not be able to do 16 by 9. Let's do 4 by 3. That's a little safer. My creepy little moon in the background. Obviously, I want to get in here at some point with my decent camera. It's currently a little bit occupied with that top-down angle. And I should put some nerdlings inside that crypt. But in theory, there's a diorama. The blurry picture. I don't know why I show it to that camera. Show it to this one instead. Yoink. Oh my god. Yeah, we did it. Weird moon and everything. Are there a million things I would do differently? Yeah, for sure. Did I learn a lot? Get my first try out of the way? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm tempted now to see if I can get this boy magnetized. Do I have any tiny ones? I don't think I need anything all that heavy for this. Shouldn't need anything all that heavy for this. So that conveniently does seem to fit right in there. That is nice. In goes the magnet. This is a pretty heavy commit, but we're doing it. Sloop him right in there. glue on my finger, so now the magnet's stuck to it properly. Now you know it's me doing this work. It's going to jump out in a second. But, yeah, I just had to see if we were facing the same way. I think this is how I want to do that. I'm not doing any magnet math in my head right now. Oof. Come on, buddy. Come on out. When I say it's the right size, it's like almost the right size. It's precariously not the right size. Oh, the struggle is real. I should have picked a hobby that would react better to my ineptitude. Alright, so there's 2 magnets in there now. Let this guy sit gently like this for a moment. And the part that I have to get right, and I may end up having to cut a little piece of this off so that there's enough space, is that I want these guys, goes like this, easily attach to that without having to open them up a ton. It is somewhat flexible, but it's not that flexible. I probably have to cut some stuff down. Yep, I think I'm gonna. And this glue is still fusing, so I am not gonna do that now. I am gonna happily call it. What I think is gonna happen, if you can see here, is that I'm actually gonna snip this down to like, take like 2 millimeters off of this. And then the magnets can sit there. And then I'll be good to go. Good to go. Anyway, everything is wet and sticky enough where it is time to call it quits for this stream. But it's been good. We got a lot done. The diorama is intact. Wouldn't call it good, but it's a good first start. I will find some way to totally fill that thing in with enough glue to hold it together. And at the very least, I could start painting this blight hauler. Blight hauler? No. Bloat drone. Pretty soon. So the army continues to grow. Thanks a bunch for hanging out and participating in that poll. It felt extremely interactive. Have a great Sunday. Hope you all had a great weekend. I'm gonna head out for now. I might actually be back on later tonight, but we'll see. Take care. Bye-bye, all.